Okay. My name is Lisa, and I'm from the Philadelphia area. Initially diagnosed with aplastic anemia. That diagnosis changed to MDS as well as PNH. And my connection to AAMDS, I'm not really sure where I initially found your documentation, and maybe it was at the NIH, but definitely have taken advantage of the conferences, meeting people in similar situations, and of course all the support that the organization provides. It happened to me, I guess, what is considered a young age for MDS. I was in my early to mid-50s, and yes, it changed me drastically, put a new outlook on many things, what's important, what's not, and I have been in, as you mentioned, I have been in remission for 7 years now. Actually, I think 7 years from yesterday. Definitely look at the world differently because your world has now changed and everything is different, and you identify goals that you want to reach or you hope to reach, certainly when you're first diagnosed, and your relationships with your family changes. I have found personally that there's been a huge amount of support from my family. I find from some older individuals in the family, like my mother, I think she's more like in denial. I think some of the older generation doesn't want to or can't understand it, but certainly everybody else is very supportive and there for you. Well, I'm very fortunate because the only treatment, or the last treatment I had, which was from a clinical trial, was just a 10-day treatment and it was over. And again, very fortunate that I responded fairly quickly over a few months. So I haven't had any treatments since then. I do go 3 times a year for big blood work and all that stuff, and try to stay current too. The thing is, I know you can, when you're in remission, you can kind of forget about it. It's no longer running your life, which is a good thing. But on the other hand, you don't want to be so far outside or away from what's going on, with these diseases, because I guess deep down inside I feel at some point it will likely come back, and I want to know. I want to be current and not just start having to catch up at that point in time. So I think it's really important to stay current, and that's why I'm here. The best advice, I think, is knowing as much as you can. I think that's so important, really finding out everything you can, however you want to do that, whether it's through these conferences or other means, knowing the doctors that are out there, knowing what to expect, and having a say in the path that you take. I know I was a big decision maker on when I was going to do my trial, and I think I kind of actually shocked my doctor at the time, because I walked in one day and I said, well, I'm starting my trial in a few weeks, and she was very surprised. But I think you just have to be very proactive, very involved, know everything you can, have a voice. Don't just leave it up to even your doctors. You have to go with your gut sometimes. You can't give up. You have to keep moving ahead, even with the devastating, the devastation of knowing that you have something that could be life-threatening. Definitely look at the world differently because your world has now changed.